Christ often criticized indirectly by using parables. So when we criticize people indirectly, tactfully, diplomatically, we gain their trust, their goodwill. We don't hurt their feelings. And they get to see the point and accept it. But when we, why did you do this? You should have done this. People will be they'll have hard feelings. And if we embrace this method that God used with David, of bringing people's attention to their faults, we will have excellent interpersonal relationships. But also, we can avoid people criticizing us by being proactive. By being what? What does that mean? When we admit our mistakes readily and wholeheartedly before we are confronted about them, we diffuse tensions. You know what? I want to be open with you. I messed up. You know, I did this and that. I know I'm not supposed to do it. Please forgive me. So that person, do you think that person is going to say anything? Like bad? Like, is that person going to be harsh when we when we're proactive in admitting our mistakes? I don't think so. But it takes people that are humble to do that. Admit your mistakes. Oh, brother so and so, I'm sorry. I know I was supposed to do this and that, but I wasn't able to do it because of 1, 2, 3, 4. Please forgive me. So that's the 6th principle. Admit your mistakes readily and sincerely. Admit your mistakes readily and sincerely. Let's turn to 2 Samuel 16. 2 Samuel chapter 16, verses 5 to 7.
Now when King David came to Bahurim, there was a man from the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei.
Hold on. Absalom, David's son, stages a coup. He wants to be the king instead of his father. Absalom wants to be king instead of David, his father. So he stages a coup. And now David is what? Is fleeing from Absalom. So as David is fleeing from Absalom, we have this man called Shimei. Okay, read on.
The son of Gera, coming from there, he came out cursing continuously as he came.
He came out what?
Cursing continuously.
So what was this man saying? What was he saying? Yeah, go on, read, sorry.
Okay. And he threw stones at David.
Oh, this man threw stones at King David.
And all the servants of King David. And all the people and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left.
Up to verse 8. Just read up to verse 8.
Also, Shimei said thus when he cursed, Come out, you bloodthirsty man.
Come out, you bloody thirsty man, David. Come out.
You rogue.
David.
The Lord has brought upon you all the blood of his house.
You thought you were all that, David.
But so, deep trouble. And whose place you have reigned.
So listen to 2 Samuel chapter 19, verses 16, 19, 20, and 23.
And Shimei the son of Gera, a Benjamite, who was from Bahiram, hastened and came down with the men of Judah to meet King David. Then he said to the king, "Do not let my lord impute iniquity to me, or remember what wrong your servant did on that day that my lord to the king left Jerusalem, that the king should take it to heart."
Okay, so we see Shimei is now being very proactive. He runs to David. "Oh, David, please forgive me. Remember that day when you were fleeing Jerusalem and I said all those things? Please forgive me." Did he wait for David to come to him? So, when we admit our mistakes readily and sincerely, we will find forgiveness. And if there was going to be conflict, that conflict would be diffused beforehand. So that's the sixth principle for developing great interpersonal relationships. Admit your mistakes readily and sincerely. Number 7, avoid arguments at all costs. Let's not Brooklyn, if you want to have good relationships, let's avoid arguments at what? At all costs. Proverbs 20 verse 3.
It is honorable for a man to stop striving, since any fool can start a quarrel.
Someone once said, "A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still." An analyst once noted that Christians are the biggest arguers. Is that true? Probably. But I know for sure that we do argue a whole lot in churches. Board meetings. Let me give you an example. In Acts 13, verses 2 and 3.
As they ministered to the Lord and fast, the Holy Spirit said, "Now separate to me Barnabas and Saul."
What is Acts chapter 15, verses 37 and 39 saying?
Now Barnabas was determined to take with them John,
Barnabas was determined to take John with him.
but Paul insisted that they should not take with them the one who had departed from them.
Oh,
And
John, because he did this, he's not going to go nowhere. No. Not him. Another person here.
in Pamphylia, and had not gone with him to the work. Then to the contention became so sharp that they parted from
There
one
was
another.
contention. There was a lot of arguing. So they divided what? They separated. But the Spirit of God, they said what? Separate me, Barnabas and Paul. When there's contention among God's people, God's work cannot be done well. When there's contention among God's people, God cannot achieve the things that He set forth to achieve. Let's avoid arguments. Let's avoid them. Let's avoid strife. So, how do we express our points without having to argue?